Welcome back to the Sports Desk. I'm all alone today, sadly. So I'm Ryan. I'm Splash, whatever you want to call me. My socials are down below at Mr. Splashman19 on Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat. I'm Splash on the U Stadium app. Sorry, Jack can't be here. You're going to have to put up with me. But we have some spiciness for you today. We have 32 picks in the 2021 NFL Draft. We're going all through them, 1 to 32. We got some trades. Got some quarterback takes. We got some spicy takes. I'm breaking it down. Let's get right into it. Boom. Can I see one of the trades? I'll get into it when I get to 4. But number 1, what's the number 1 pick? Come on. The number 1 pick is Trevor Lawrence. It's been a given. It's been a given since he went to Clemson that he was going to be the number 1 pick in whatever draft he came out in. You know, you're getting a generational quarterback in Lawrence, and Jacksonville. I don't want to say the AFC South is weak, but if Lawrence hits the ground running like he might, you could see a Jacksonville Jaguars playoff run in 2021 or 2022. Would not surprise me. With the number 2 pick, Jets fans, I'm sorry, it's looking like Zach Wilson. And I know a lot of you out there want Fields. I get it. I love Fields. I love Wilson. I love Fields. I think Wilson's a tiny, tiny bit better, but it's at a certain point, whoever goes to San Francisco will be the better quarterback. And I have Justin Fields going to San Francisco. Mac Jones, truthers, I get it. He's coming. Just wait. He's coming. Justin Fields will be an amazing NFL quarterback. If he lands in San Francisco, he will be an MVP one day. He will win an MVP. Mark it down. 2026. Justin Fields will be the NFL MVP in 2026 with the San Francisco 49ers. Watch out. Denver, you see them trading up. They see, hey, quarterback. They're working with Atlanta right now. They're trying to maybe trade up. Get the guy that John Elway wants, get the guy the front office wants, and they're going to break the stereotype. They're not going to go for tall, white, big arm quarterback. They're going to go for Trey Lance. Trey Lance, people all over have said he has the highest floor. He has the highest ceiling. He has a higher ceiling than Lawrence. He has a higher ceiling than Wilson. He has a higher ceiling than Fields. And people are comparing Fields to like MVP Lamar Jackson, Cam Newton MVP, Zach Wilson is getting Rodgers comparisons. He's the Mormon Mahomes. That's the thing. And Trevor Lawrence is a generational prospect. But Trey Lance might just be better than all 3 of them. Denver's a spot that he can be better than all 3 of them. You say, Drew Lock, you're going to go play this year. If you happen to be better than Trey Lance, so be it. We can trade Trey Lance. He has great value. If not, Trey Lance, you're going to be the starter moving forward in Denver. And look what you have. Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, KJ Hamler, Alberto, Noah Fant. You're going to have a good running game. You're going to have a great defense with Vic Fangio. If I'm Denver, I'm slamming the table to get Trey Lance. Absolutely. There's no question about it. Lance will be a stud in the league if he lands in the right spot. Denver, I think, would be the right spot. So moving quickly along, Bengals, it's between Penny Sewell and Jamar Chase. I love Kyle Pitts, but it's between Penny Sewell and Jamar Chase. And I've seen the memes. I've seen the Burrow has people to throw to if they draft Sewell. And I've seen the Burrow has no one blocking him if they draft Chase. Well, guess what? I know Cincinnati. Cincinnati doesn't spend super high draft capital on tackles. They did draft Jonah Williams, but they want to get Burrow weapons. They drafted T. Higgins when they should have drafted a tackle last year. T. Higgins worked. So they're going to go Jamar Chase. And there are scouts that are saying Jamar Chase is as good as anyone since Julio. That's high praise. Absolutely. And Cincinnati will go Chase at 5. With the number 6 pick, Penny Sewell falls in Miami's lap. He's a guy they would have taken at 3 probably. You take him now. You slide Robert Hunt into right guard. You move Austin Jackson from left tackle to right tackle, and you have a plug-and-play day 1 starter Penny Sewell. Might not be an all-pro from day 1, but he should be pretty doggone good moving forward. The next 10 years, your tackles are fine. I wasn't the biggest Austin Jackson fan, but you move him from left to right, he should be fine. And Miami's going to be a strong team moving forward. Now, Detroit, they're in an interesting spot because, quarterback, Mac Jones, right? No, why would they go with the quarterback? They have a future to work for. They have all this draft. They're going to have all this draft capital. They're probably going to suck next year. They have all this draft capital moving forward. You could even trade down from this pick, gain more draft capital. So they're going to strengthen the cornerback room and get Patrick Surtain. You get a top-of-the-line cornerback prospect. You pair him with last year's top-of-the-line guy in Jeff Okudah, and bang, bang, you have 2 guys that you think will be elite corners for the next 10, 15 years. That's important. That's culture right there. They could also go offensive line. They could go Rashawn Slater. They could go trade down and get a guard. If we had a multiple round mock, they are probably taking several offensive linemen or defensive linemen. They're building a culture in Detroit. Dan Campbell is building a culture through and through. This is a culture pick. This is not a sexy pick. This is a culture pick. Speaking of a culture pick, give me J.C. Horn to Carolina. They got Sam Darnold, so you're punting the quarterback issue down the road. You're not going to try Mac Jones. Right now, it's Teddy and Sam. Whoever wins is going to be the start of the next 2 years. Right? They could be very bad. There's a serious chance the Panthers are very, very bad in one of the next couple years, and then you get the number one pick, something like that. You get Sam Howell from North Carolina next year. You get Rattler from Oklahoma. You are in a position, Carolina, that you don't need to draft a quarterback. You can draft for the future here. And J.C. Horn, tremendous film. His film might be better than Surtain, but Surtain's unbelievable. But J.C. Horn, he's cornerback one on a lot of people's sports. I get it. He is fantastic. He played some of the toughest competition we've ever seen by a wide receiver. He was playing NFL caliber wide receivers every single week. That's no lie. You go check the games, go check the film. It was NFL receiver, NFL receiver, NFL receiver, NFL receiver, NFL receiver. And when he wasn't playing an NFL receiver, I guess the week before he had 2, or the week before he had 3. He is a superstar caliber cornerback, and he will be excellent in the NFL for 10 years. With the number 9 pick, of course, Atlanta traded down. They could accumulate more assets. This is you get a first in a couple of years. You get a second. You get 4th, 5th. You get a bunch of stuff because Denver had to move up 5 spots. Maybe not quite as much as Miami got for the San Francisco trade up, but you're going to get a lot. And you know what you're going to get? You're going to get Kyle Pitts because you are going all in on this team with Matt Ryan. You're loading up on draft talent for now. You're drafting guys that will be very good now. And Kyle Pitts is the one tight end that can totally skip out on the whole, tight ends take a year to adjust. Kyle Pitts as a weapon does not. He might need to be block more. Hayden Hurst can block. If you need if it's a goal line set, you need 2 yards, you're not putting Kyle Pitts in the block. You're putting Hayden Hurst in the block. And that's the thing with Atlanta. They don't need a blocking tight end, right? They don't need a do-it-all tight end. That's what Hayden Hurst does. They need a superstar caliber player on the offense, and that helps it out. The defense, I think, is going to be improved. By the end of last season, they were actually playing competent football for once. And guess what? You just got that Denver pick, several Denver picks. You can look at the rest of the draft. You're going to get guys that fall because there were 4 quarterbacks in the top 4, and Mac Jones is coming very soon. You're going to get some talented defensive players moving forward. Atlanta will get some defensive starters moving forward in this draft, and they'll be at least in contention for a wild card spot in 2021. Moving on, we have Dallas. Look, you have Waddle, you have Smith. Oh, Micah Parsons. Look at that. And they're going with day 1 Pro Bowler Rashawn Slater. Point blank, Rashawn Slater will be a Pro Bowler in 2021, assuming he starts. He will be a Pro Bowler in 2021. No doubt in my mind, he is as polished as it comes. His film is better than Sewell's. Sewell just has some projection that he's going to be an all-pro one day. I think Slater will come in and be a top 10 tackle, the top 10 left tackle, top 10 right tackle, whatever side he plays on. I would believe it would be right side, so Tyron Smith plays left side. Rashawn Slater will be a day 1 Pro Bowler. He will be a guy that you look every week and it's like, oh, yeah, he's on the PFF team of the week every week. He's, team of the mid. Hey, look, Rashawn Slater. I remember when Splash told me that he was going to go pick 10. Yeah, for a reason. The man is dominant. He will be pancaking folks left and right in the NFC East. There are some tough matchups. Philly is an unbelievable defensive front. Washington's even better. New York has, Leonard Williams. New York has talented players, and they're going to get one later. We'll talk about it later. But this is scary. But Rashawn Slater, hey, Dak, I know you're just coming back from your injury. Don't worry about my side of the field. And, I'll be right next to Zach Martin. Or Tyron Smith is going to be on the other side. Dak's going to be fine. Rashawn Slater with the number 10 pick in the draft. Moving quickly along, we have another trade to announce. New England trades up from 15 to 11. They're not doing that unless you're going quarterback. And sorry, Bree, we are going with quarterback sensation, Mac Jones. Mac Jones, I really like Jones, and I think New England is a spot that he can succeed. They have added lots of talent in the draft, lots of talent in free agency. You go get Hunter Henry. You get a guy that I love in Johnny Smith. You go get Nelson Aguilar, who is, yes, he's a deep threat, and Mac Jones is not known for his deep zip like other guys in the draft are. Justin Fields, Zach Wilson. Hi. Jones is going to be a solid starter, I think, in the NFL for a long time, and you're not really kicking Cam out. So you can say, Cam, if you can figure it out, we can win games with Cam. I believe New England will win games with Cam. But Mac Jones is a future option. I think he's a better option than Jimmy G. And he's a guy that, yes, he's a system quarterback. That's okay. New England won with a system quarterback for 20 years. People forget that. I guess people don't forget that. But Mac Jones at 11, I get it, Patriots fans. You want Waddle, you want Smith, you want something else. You don't want another Brady kind of quarterback, but you do want the winning. But I think Mac Jones can be a very good player in New England. So moving on with the number 12 pick, we have another we have another wide receiver. It's Jalen Waddle. Last year, Philadelphia said speed. I am speed. Shout out to Lightning McQueen. They went out and got John Hightower, fast. Kez Watkins, fast. And the creme de la creme, Jalen Reagor, wicked fast. They signed Marquise Goodwin. I don't remember him playing. Deshaun Jackson was back, although he didn't play very much. They went all speed, and it works. If you can get separators, obviously the Eagles sucked last year, but part of that was once. If you get separators, you can be more successful in the NFL. That's what I think Philadelphia is doing. They're going for separators. They're going for quick hitters. They're going to get a Jalen Hurts heavy rushing attack, and then when you pass the ball, hey, guess what? Jalen Waddle can get open real quick. Hey, guess what? Jalen Reagor can get open real quick. And you're going to get these 8, 10, 12, 14-yard chunks that turn into 20 because these guys are wicked fast. Reagor is really fast. Waddle's probably a tenth of a second faster. And Rager's a track guy. Philly, you better watch out and buy your Waddle jerseys now. Oh, that'd be nice if we wore 17. So moving on, Chargers, pretty simple pick here. Christian Darrisaw. You add a tackle. They've actually addressed the offensive line for once. The Chargers addressed the offensive line. It's a miracle. They got all-pro Corey Linsley to play center, bringing a left tackle. I still think they can trade for Orlando Brown. I do want Orlando Brown to stay with Baltimore, but hey, it happens. Christian Darrisaw, slam dunk pick at 13. Maybe not a Pro Bowler, but he's going to be a great tackle in the NFL for 10, 12, 14 years. And now we have another trade. Miami goes from 18, uses some of the draft capital they got in the San Francisco trade, goes from 18, gets up to 14, and they get a guy that I thought was wide receiver 1 a month ago, Devontae Smith. He can separate, and I know, hear me out. People say, oh, he's 6'1", 170. That's not going to fly in the NFL. You can beat press if they don't touch you. But he can't. You can beat press if you don't get touched. Like, if Devontae Smith just doesn't get touched, you can't cover him. You can't press him if you can't touch him. And this is the thing. Like, I could sit here, oh, he's 170. He's going to get pushed around. No, he's not. He's going to get off press because no one can get off press as well as Devontae Smith. And yeah, he's 170. I get it. There are going to be times that he gets hit in the back or gets hit on the line of scrimmage and will be ineffective. I get it. But he's going to break press more often than you think he is. Watch out. Devontae Smith with the 14th pick in the draft. The Giants, they traded down from 11. They're going to get their guy at 15. They're going to get Kwity Paye. I feel like Paye is kind of like the shoe-in edge one. I can see a lot of different guys being your edge one here. Rousseau, Phillips, Paye, Ojulari. I get it. A lot of them are very good. A lot of them are very talented. I think they go Kwity Paye. Paye had a huge season with Michigan this year, and he's a guy that while the Giants had a better defense than you might have expected last year, much of that was overachieving rather than having good players, right? Blake Martinez is not actually a Pro Bowl caliber linebacker, right? James Bradbury, while very good, is not an all-pro like he played in 2020. So I think there will be some defensive regression with the guys they have currently in place. But moving forward, Kwity Paye, I think, will be a very good player. Arizona at 16, this is a pretty easy pick for me. It's Rashad Bateman. You get it. You go get another guy for Kyler to throw to. Yeah, he has DeAndre Hopkins. I get it. He has Christian Kirk. I get it. You spent a second round pick on Andy Isabella 2 years ago. I get it. Go get another one. So you have Chase Edmonds too. So go get another one. They don't have any corners that you like. Caleb Farley is slipping down draft boards with an injury. We're going to talk about him later. But Rashad Bateman is a wonderful player. Most draft classes, he's wide receiver 1. It just happens that he's on a team he's in a draft with Jamar Chase, who might be as good as Julio. You have Alabama guys that are just superstars this year. Bateman's unbelievable. He's going to be a stud wherever he goes. And if you play fantasy, he's going to be fantasy receiver 1 this year. At least for rookies, he's not going to beat out like AJ Brown. But at least for rookies, Rashad Bateman will be wide receiver 1 this year. So moving on with the number 17 pick, we have a team that doesn't care about Caleb Farley's injuries. We have the Las Vegas Raiders. They will go Caleb Farley right here. Add to that defensive back room that's not very good. Jonathan Abrams playing the wrong position. LaMarcus Joyner is playing the wrong position. I don't know what you're doing, Las Vegas, but you need more talent defensively. I was also thinking Tevin Jenkins here. He's going to go a little bit later. But Caleb Farley is an unbelievable pick. If you don't care about the injuries, he's a top 10, top 12 player. Farley is phenomenal. The injuries, yeah, they drag him down. But Vegas is going to do something here. And I don't think they're going to regret it. They're going to say, hey, injuries? Who cares? He's going to be a good NFL player. I think he will be. Moving on, we have Minnesota. They traded down 4 spots. They get some extra draft capital late. They're going to go get Elijah Vera Tucker out of USC. He can play guard. He can play tackle. He's probably a day 1 guard. Then you slide him out to tackle eventually. He's played 3 out of the 5 spots on the offensive line. He's a very versatile player. He's an excellent player. He's a guy that might even go higher. He could go at 14, and I wouldn't be surprised. I think Minnesota gets a little bit extra value here because 15, 16, 17, they're not going guards. So you say, Miami, you go get Devontae Smith. We get an extra pick later in the draft, extra pick next year, what have you. And you get a guy that maybe is a top 10, top 15 player in the draft, in Elijah Vera Tucker. Washington at 19, they're not going quarterback. Sorry, Alex. I know you want Mac Jones really, really badly, but they will get a superstar guy in Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Like, wait, Parsons? What about Parsons? No, JOK is the real deal. And in a talented defense like Washington, JOK will be, I don't want to say he's as good as Chase Young, but he will be an X factor in that defense. He is as good as Isaiah Simmons, but Isaiah Simmons was a college safety, so he had to transition to NFL linebacker. JOK will be an NFL linebacker. He was a college linebacker here. He will be a superstar. He will be a perennial All-Pro in a couple years. This is one of my favorite picks in the draft because Washington, they don't necessarily need more defensive guys. They need more offensive pieces, right? They could go wide receiver, go quarterback, go running back. Probably not running back because they have Antonio Gibson. But JOK, superstar, book it. And with the 20th pick, Chicago, they just lost Kendall, or they cut him. Kyle Fuller is no longer on the Bears roster. So who are you going to replace him with? Greg Newsome. Local kid out of Chicago, went to Northwestern. This is a perfect fit. I love this fit too. This is a guy in Greg Newsome that he will be 10 years. He's going to be your starting corner. He's may not be Akuda last year, may not be Surtain, may not be Jalen Ramsey, but you're not asking him to be Jalen Ramsey. You're asking him to be a very good corner for 10 years, and I think he will do that. He will be a guy that last year we saw corners all across the league were killed, especially rookies, with the exception of like 2 weeks from Cameron Dantzler. Greg Newsome is a guy that will step in and will be a very good player, I think, for 10 years. Sprinkle some Pro Bowls in there, sprinkle some Player of the Week, Player of the Month, get some interceptions, forced fumbles, tackles, sacks, whatever. Newsome's a darn good player. He's flying up draft boards. He could go as high as 10. I've heard people mock him to Dallas. I've heard people even mock him to Denver at 9, which I think is a little rich for him because I don't like him as much as Surtain and Farley and Horn. But Newsome's a stud. Speaking of studs, with the 21st pick, we're going for another stud. This is an offensive tackle, Sam Cosmi out of Texas. Wonderful player. He's going to fit right in. It's a plug and play. He's going to be a guy that you play week 1, 2021, and he's going to be your left tackle for the next 5, 10, 15 years. Is he going to be a superstar? Maybe not. Is he going to be a rock-solid left tackle for a pretty doggone good line? Yes, he will. He's playing next to Quentin Nelson. He's not going to be terrible. You know, he's on the same line with Ryan Kelly and is it Braden Smith that plays right tackle and Marcus Glowinski that plays right guard. That's going to be a sturdy offensive line, you know, protecting Carson Wentz moving forward. And he's going to be a fine left tackle. I'm going to compare him to Jedrick Wills. I think this is a solid comparison. I think Wills is a better prospect, but hear me out. That Wills was technically the worst player on the Cleveland offensive line this year. But that's not a knock against Wills. That's just praising the other 4 that all deserve to be all pros. Yeah. So I think there's a very real chance that Sam Cosmi is the Jedrick Wills in terms of fit moving forward this year, because he's a guy that could be a Pro Bowl caliber a Pro Bowl caliber tackle in the NFL, but he's going to be on a team with 4 other guys that are really good, an all-pro left guard, Pro Bowl caliber center, Pro Bowl caliber right tackle, and he might be the worst of the bunch. Brian Bulag on the 2014 Packers plays on the same line with Bakhtiari, Lindsley, and 2 Pro Bowl guards. It happens. You have this 5th link, and one goal with offensive linemen, you want your 5th link to be as good as possible. And this is what Indianapolis does here with Sam Cosmi. So the number 22 pick, it's still the Titans. They're going defense, as you might expect. They're going to go Azeez Ojulari out of Georgia. He might be edge 1. He might be edge 2. He's going to be really good. He's going to be a speed rusher, Yannick Ngakoue type. He's going to be a nice player. And I know Tennessee addressed edge in free agency. They brought in Bud Dupree out of Pittsburgh, but you need more. Last year, they were, I believe, 31st in sacks. That is totally unsustainable. There are things that you can't sustain, and then there are things that it is a catastrophe. Third down defense in Tennessee was a catastrophe. It is in 25 years of tracking third down data, they are the worst third down defense in the history of football. They can't do that again. Ojulari says, okay, well, take a couple of those possessions out because I get a sack. Take a couple more possessions of those out. I get a pressure, and Carson Wentz throws it in the 5th row instead of throwing it down the field. So Tennessee will be better defensively because of regression or progression to the mean in this case. Ojulari is going to say, okay, we're going to take that a step further. We're going to be a solid NFL defense. With the number 23 pick, we have the New York Jets taking one of probably my favorite player to watch in this draft class, Tevin Jenkins, right tackle, Oklahoma State. You have Mekhi Becton at left tackle, mountain of a man, Mountain Mekhi. Interior, you have a bunch of dudes at this point. You have a bunch of dudes. Some of them are going to be okay at football. Some of them aren't going to be. You cut them. You play the good players, essentially. It's just plug and play. You also have later picks in this draft that you can say, hey, Wyatt Davis, Trey Smith, Landon Dickerson, hello. They also have the 34th pick in the draft, which is important for this. But we're not going into the second round. We're just going 1 through 32. 23 is Tevin Jenkins, superstar caliber player. Could be a Pro Bowler from day 1. With the 24th pick, as much as it pains me to say, I think this is, outside of Lawrence to Jacksonville, this is a pick that I think this team makes regardless of who's on the board. Like every other team is, well, it depends, right? Well, if Penny Sewell is here, we'll obviously take Sewell. Or yada yada. If Pittsburgh, if they had the number 1 pick, I would have a solid argument that they take this guy, Najee Harris. Now, I'm not saying he's a better prospect than anyone. I'm not saying he's a better prospect than Sewell, Lawrence, Pitts, because or Chase. They'd obviously take Lawrence if you have the number 1 pick because Ben Roethlisberger is geriatric. But what you're doing here, Pittsburgh is opening a Super Bowl window. They do not, currently the window is shut. Najee Harris says, get out of the way, the window is open, as I almost ripped my headphones in half. They have a Super Bowl window with Najee Harris. I don't care how bad Ben Roethlisberger is, he's going to be better than what they had in 2019. They can win the Super Bowl if Najee Harris is the starting running back on week 1. That sucks as a Ravens fan, but it can happen. So if Najee Harris is the 24th pick in the draft and he's going to be wearing the Pittsburgh black and gold, go ahead, put $5 down on the Steelers from the Super Bowl. Put $10. You might win some money. With the number 25 pick, we actually have a trade to announce. The Kansas City Chiefs are trading up 6 slots with the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're going to take one of the best tackles on the board. Actually, in this case, the best tackle on the board, Alex Leatherwood out of Alabama. You're getting Lucas Niang back, 3rd-round pick last year, opted out because of COVID. So you're getting 2 new tackles. You brought in Kyle Long out of retirement. You brought in Joe Thuney out of New England. I don't know what you're doing at center, but who cares? 4 of your 5 offensive linemen should be solid. Center, plug and play. You have later picks in the draft, yada, yada, yada. Kansas City might have a very good offensive line. And here, you take a guy that a lot of people have as a first-round guy. A lot of people have as a second-round guy. He's going to be a talented player. He's going to be starting caliber left tackle in the NFL or right tackle, depending on where you want to play Niang. And you use one of your picks later in the draft. Hey, Landon Dickerson's sitting there. Quinn Miners is sitting there. You can draft a center later in the draft. And Kansas City's rebuilding that offensive line, and it's pretty cheap. You know, you have a 2020 tackle, a 2021 tackle, a 2021 center. And yeah, Thuney was very expensive and Long is expensive, but 3 out of your 5 pieces, including the 2 most precious one, left tackle or right tackle, are going to be on rookie deals. One the Mahomes money kicks in, one Kelsey's making a ton of money, one Tyreek is making a ton of money. Chris Jones, Tyrann Mathieu. When they're making tons and tons of money, your left tackle, right tackle, they're going to be solid. They're not making anything, practically speaking. The number 26 pick, I went back and forth with this. One of my favorite picks of the entire draft, like the entire draft cycle, has been Zaven Collins to Cleveland. Well, Zaven Collins isn't the best linebacker on the board. It's Micah Parsons. You know, I know there's the character red flags. You know, frankly, Micah Parsons falling to 26, that I don't think it happens. I just point blank, I don't think it happens. I don't think he falls all the way to 26. But in this case, he happens to fall to 26, and Cleveland's going to get a star in Micah Parsons. Incredible player at Penn State. I believe he opted out this year, so there's that off-the-charts athletic testing. So he might be a top 10 pick just on athletic testing alone. He's going to be a star. You know, he's going to be a guy that this is a pick that Cleveland says, we are now better than Baltimore, which sucks. But Cleveland can say, hey, we're better than Baltimore now. We have an actual linebacker. You know, we're not playing Mac Wilson. We're not playing these random dudes, right? We're not playing Jacob Phillips. You're playing a very good player in Micah Parsons. Speaking of Baltimore, they have the number 27 pick. And this is, I've been saying this a lot recently, but this is one of my favorite connections in the draft. It's not quite Cam Sample. If you know me, I like Cam Sample out of Tulane. Way too rich for him. But what we're going to do is we're going to take Greg Rousseau's partner in crime, Jalen Phillips. Now, Jalen Phillips was a 5-star recruit, went to UCLA, had to retire with concussion issues. He got a second opinion, came back, went to Miami, and all signs say he is going to be a steal when you take him. He's a guy that got overshadowed by Rousseau's draft hype. Rousseau didn't even play this year, but his freshman film was great, you know. And he's going to be a superstar one day. Jalen Phillips is going to be a very good player in the right system. I don't know if Baltimore's going to be the right system. You know, it may not be. That's okay. But Jalen Phillips is a guy in the right system, will be a Pro Bowl guy, will be a 10, 12 sack guy, will be an 85 pass rushing grade guy. He is an excellent player, can play the run as well, which is important for Baltimore. And Jalen Phillips, if you're looking at a guy who has the highest ceiling after, I mean, I do think Najee Harris is a future all-pro caliber running back, but after Najee, who I think is like a top 10 prospect regardless of position, outside of Najee, Jalen Phillips has the highest ceiling. Maybe Etienne, but Jalen Phillips is the highest ceiling. Baltimore gets a ceiling guy here. Baltimore gets a guy that cares about football. Yeah, it's cliche, I know. But he came back from retirement. I get it. It's an injury retirement, so there was a good reason for him to be retired. But he's a guy that really cares about what he does. He's going to put in a lot of effort for a Baltimore team that needs some defensive talent, needs some front seven talent. Moving on, we have the number 28 pick. And I talked about Jalen Phillips as one of the most talented players available. Perhaps the most talented player available is Christian Barmore. He is a guy that is going to step in. You're losing some pieces on the defensive line. You're losing Hendrickson. You lost is it Rankins? Is Rankins gone now? One of the tackles is gone now. So you just plug and play Christian Barmore. Week 1, game 1, probably against, actually it might not be against Tampa. Who knows? Week 1, you're playing Christian Barmore. And he's going to be a nice player. He's going to be a five-time Pro Bowler. Point blank, he's going to be a dominant player moving forward. I have him really high on my board in the top 20, maybe in the top 15, you know, when I'm filtering through. Barmore is an incredible player. He lit up the college football playoff, playing against the best teams in the country, and he said, oh, yeah, you guys only care about the offense? You want to see Fields? You want to see Devontae Smith? I guess Waddle was hurt. You want to see Surtain? You want to see Mac Jones? You want to see Chris Olave? He's coming out next year. I see Trevor Lawrence. What are you talking about? You're here to see me. There's an argument that Christian Barmore was the best player in the college football playoff. Devontae Smith was unbelievable. But Christian Barmore, man, he was ridiculous. If those were the only games you watched, he's the best player on the board. He's one of the best players on the board. Obviously, there's other film. Obviously, he wasn't great weeks 1 to, 10, 12. He's like Quinnen Williams, but Quinnen Williams had the whole year to process and play really well. Now he's becoming a better player in the NFL. And you have a little bit of a smaller sample size with Barmore at the end of the season, but he was fantastic. He's a guy that I think will be a multi-time Pro Bowler. I said five-time Pro Bowler. And put him in New Orleans, man. You have Demario Davis for a few more years. You have Cam Jordan for a few more years. You have Lattimore. New Orleans is back in the playoffs. I'm sorry, Tampa, Atlanta, Carolina, AFC, the rest of the NFC West, the rest of the NFC. New Orleans isn't going anywhere. Jameis Winston / Taysom Hill is going to be perfectly fine. With the 29th pick, Green Bay, shout out to my man Alex, Lambeau Leapers. You're not going to take a wide receiver here because I really don't believe Brian Gutekunst cares about Aaron Rodgers. That's kind of a joke, but with this pick, they're going to take Jalen Mayfield, who is not necessarily number one on the PFN board, but he's going to be a very talented player. He's going to be an immediate right tackle, and it's probably going to be your long-term option for David Bakhtiari, whether that's injury, whether that's he just retires. I don't know. Bakhtiari is, I think, 29, 30, going to turn 30. So you get a young tackle. You get a guy that is going to maybe be your swing tackle day one. I said right tackle. I mean, you'd like him to start at right tackle, but at the very least, he's your swing tackle, and he's going to be a pretty solid swing tackle moving forward. So you get a starting caliber guy, a guy that you are prepared to have play snaps week one here in Jalen Mayfield. And Radens, Eichenberg, Brown, Little, Christensen, they're all talented guys, and they can go. Radens and Eichenberg, I have closer to the first round. Brown, Little, Christensen, Carmen, I have closer to the second, third round. But either way, Green Bay is going to get a star tackle or going to get a talented tackle in this. Okay, that was weird. I'm on a wired network. That's okay. We have another trade, folks. New York, they got some assets moving down from 11 to 15. They're going to use some of those assets, trade back into the first round, and they're going to take one of my favorite players to watch in all of college football this season, Zaven Collins, linebacker out of Tulsa. Whew, oh boy, he can do it all. He can cover, he can blitz, he can play the run. He is a great leader. He's a guy that you think, oh, well, Blake Martinez is a perfectly fine NFL player. Please watch the games. He's not actually like insane or anything. Zaven Collins is actually insane. He's going to be a star player. I say this about a lot of guys. I have very high hopes for these guys. I wish nothing but the best. I've seen the Arizona football players, and they're great. They're great guys. You want to see them succeed, and I'm rooting for every single person in this draft class. Scroll. I don't want to give you epilepsy, so I'm not going to scroll down. But everyone in this draft class, I'm rooting for you. I hope you succeed. I want to buy your jersey one day. I might buy a Tevin Jenkins Jets jersey if it comes to it, and whoever Baltimore gets, I'll probably get a jersey. But I want to buy your jersey one day. I want to see you succeed for the next 10, 12 years. And Zaven Collins is a guy that I'm pretty sure will be succeeding for the next 10 to 12 years. Up there in the blue side of East Rutherford, we're cleaning up one of our last trades. Jacksonville trades down from 25 to 31, and they're going to trade Trevon Moehrig out of TCU. This is a guy I usually take Freiermuth here, but Jacksonville is the 33rd pick. You can take Freiermuth there. You can trade down again. You can take Freiermuth there. Whatever. Moehrig, he's a guy as a safety that can do it all. He's a guy Atlanta wants that could want at 4, probably not. They might want him at 9 in this case. They trade down. He's an incredibly talented player. It's just the safety value isn't there in the NFL right now. It's kind of like running back, but worse. It's kind of like a linebacker, but safety is not as valuable as other positions in the NFL. If Moehrig had a cornerback tag, he's a top 10 pick. If Kyle Pitts had a wide receiver tag, he's a top 5 pick. You get the idea. If Moehrig had a cornerback tag, he's going a lot higher, but he's a safety, although he can cover well. Again, he's a guy like Collins that can do it all. He can a phenomenal player. He can cover. He can play a little bit of like the traditional like Earl Thomas role, a little bit of that. He can play a little bit of like Jamal Adams pass rusher role. Moehrig can do a lot of things on the football field, and I can't wait to watch him play. And with the 32nd pick, we're only going to do one round today. It's Travis Etienne. Rip. Let me figure this out. Tampa. Travis Etienne, running back Clemson. You've seen him in the College World Playoff. You've seen him the last couple of years, actually. You've seen him highlight reel runs. He actually might get to wear number 9. I don't remember if Tampa's like special teams unit wears 9, kicker punter, but maybe they do. But Etienne rocking 9 down in Tampa. Ooh, that would be an insta cop. That's an instantly copped jersey right there. Whoo, boy, that'd be nice. You got Brady. I know you got Rojo. I know you got Fournette. Those are talented guys, but Etienne is. If you're trying to win Super Bowl 56, Tampa is. You need a guy that can help Brady and what Brady does. For a long time, Brady had a guy in New England that pass catcher can do a lot of things. James White should have been Super Bowl MVP. Kevin Falk, Shane Vereen, Deion Lewis. You get a bunch of these guys that aren't maybe the flashiest player, aren't the best player, but they're guys that turn 6 into 12 yards. You know, they take a dump off, they get a first down. Danny Woodhead as well. They take 4 yards, turn it into 8. You know, 3rd and 2, hey, diddle, diddle, red rice up the middle. They're that. You know, they are creating yards, and it's tough yards. It's around the line of scrimmage. They're taking these short passes. They're taking these tosses. They're taking these short handoffs, and they're creating yards out of it. And Etienne has more juice than anyone I just mentioned. He has more juice than White. He has more juice than Vereen. He has more juice than Lewis. He has more juice than Falk. He's a guy that, as a running back, not even like a scat back guy, not even like a receiving back, as a running back, is probably a first-round talent. But what he can do as a receiver with the ball in his hands, whether it's a toss play, whether it's a screen, whether it's like a little check down, Etienne can score on every play. There are some guys in this draft that are incredibly talented. Travis Etienne, as a prospect, ignore the running back tag, ignore the RB next to his name. As a player, Etienne is going to be one of the most dangerous offensive players for the next 5, 6, 7 years. He's a guy you want in fantasy. You may not want him in the draft, like this draft, but you're going to want him in fantasy. He's going to be a huge, huge producer in the Tampa Bay offense. And I know they have Evans. I know they have Godwin. I know they have are they bringing back Antonio Brown? I'm not sure if they're bringing back him. They have Gronk. They have Cam Brate. He's probably coming back. O.J. Howard, I believe, is coming back. I understand it's a loaded offense, but he's a guy. It's like you threw Gronk into the loaded offense. He produced when he needed to. You threw Antonio Brown into the loaded offense. He produces when he needed to. Travis Etienne, you're going to throw him into the loaded offense. He's going to produce when you need him to. There you go. So I'm going to take that down. We're going to head to the chat for some questions. Got my laptop pulled up here. All right, here we go. Got 5th. Is this the Krusty Krab? No, this is Splash. And I'm not wearing my Patrick socks today. Sorry, Anna. Holden, what's up, Splash? Hope all is well, bro. Yeah, I'm doing a lot better. You know, the last few weeks have been a little rough, but we are coming back with a vengeance this week. Huge day. We've got an upgrade in the facility here. We're in the journalism building at the U of A, but there's like 50 million computers in here. I just chose this one because it's the closest to the door. The door's like right there. That's okay. Anyway, I just yanked my laptop. I just yanked the screen. Anyways, we got Justin, my boy JWD. Should have been on the show today. Hi, Splash. How's it going, bro? Holden, Jack's had a good free agency too. I agree. I really like the Marvin Jones signing. That's kind of under the radar. He does a lot of the things that Chark does. And, you know, I think Jacksonville's scary, man. Like, I know they're coming off of a 1-15 season. I know they're going to have a rookie quarterback. But, you know, their offense is going to be able to move the football, and they can win games like that. You have Trevor Lawrence. I know he's a rookie. I get it. But we saw Justin Herbert. We saw Joe Burrow. They can move the football, and their teams were better for it. You have James Robinson, Rookie of the Year snub. You have Laviska Shenault. I'm getting a Laviska Shenault jersey. Stay tuned. Very soon. Laviska Shenault jersey, as soon as I find one for cheap. We're getting one. Shenault, Jones, Cole. Actually, I don't know if Cole's back, but Colin Johnson out of Texas. I have them taking Freiermuth at 33. That works. And then, of course, Lawrence. Duh. Defense, Splash. I'm not sure what this is. This is a reply to. But hey, I did take some defensive players. The first 5, 6, 7. The first 6 were offense. I get it, but then we had Surtain. You know, we had Horn go immediately after, so there were some defensive players moving forward. Justin, again, splash speaking facts. I concur. I don't know what this is in response to, but yes. Lucas Cardinal, JOK. Jeremiah, oh, wow, I screwed that up. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. He is my linebacker one. I would take him over Parsons. He's a guy that will be an all-pro one day. Point blank. Just point blank. Jay Ashley, my man, Jedi Master Jay. I really hope Jacksonville takes Mac at 25. I really want him to go to Washington at 19. There are a lot of places I want Mac Jones to go. He would be a nice fit in Baltimore at 27. I think he can run the option. You get the handoff to Lamar, the running back Lamar, just fake the handoff, pull it back. He can fire to Marquise Brown. Marquise would drop it. But, I think Mac Jones in the Baltimore offense might be the greatest quarterback of all time. Like, I've talked about Rodgers. I've talked about Mahomes as, like, incredible talent. Mac Jones is those guys, but, like, he's getting up to, oh, my goodness. He's an all-99 player in Madden. He's probably an all-99 player in NBA 2K. Like, if Mac Jones went one-on-one with LeBron James, Mac Jones is whitewashing him. If he played soccer with Ronaldo is not getting the ball. If he played baseball, if he had a home run derby with Barry Bonds, Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, and Mike Trout, Mac Jones is just going to hit infinite dingers. I guess they have the timed format this year, but he's going to have a million dingers in 4 minutes, and then he's going to get the extra time because all of them are 550-foot home runs. Mac Jones would probably hit 200 million home runs in about 4.5 minutes. You put him in the octagon. He's knocking out Anderson Silva in 2 punches, not even 2 punches, half a punch. He's going all in there. Mac Jones is a perfect fit for every team. Lucas again, please, anything but running back at 2. You meant 24. I gotcha. I don't think that you're a Steelers fan. Oh no. No, you should take Najee Harris at 24 and win the Super Bowl. Browns will never be better than us. I hope so. I hope they're not, but hey, it happens, man. Terrace Marshall Jr. or Bateman at 27. Okay, Bateman's off the board. Terrace Marshall, I really like Marshall. I don't necessarily think Baltimore absolutely positively has to go wide receiver at 27. If it's Bateman, yeah. Like, my order is, if Bateman's on the board, you take Bateman. If Tevin Jenkins is on the board, you take Jenkins. Those are like pipe dreams at this point. Those are top 20 guys. If they fall to 27, you absolutely 100% take them. Then you have the guys like Phillips, guys like Humphrey, Osai, that I really like, and you can probably take it 27, or you can trade down a few spots. In one of my mocks I did with Overtime Heroic. Shout out to my boys over there. I traded down to I traded down to 31 with Kansas City, and I drafted someone. I got 2 guys for the price of 1, essentially. So I like Marshall. I love Bateman. Bateman is a guy that I am slamming the table for. He is the best. Like, if I had to make a realistic players that could go to the Ravens, he is number 1 on my list. Marshall's up there, but I don't quite love him as much as I probably should. He's incredibly productive. Frankie talked about it on the show yesterday. Unbelievable. He had a perfect passer rating when he was targeted in 2020, I believe. He's a stud. I get it, and he's going to be a very good player. Frankie compared him to Justin Jefferson. I don't think he's quite that good. Jefferson's special, but Marshall could be a Pro Bowler in the right spot, I think. All right, Holden again. Hello, Splash. Please shout me out. Shout out to my man's Holden. Shout out to the Rams. When I was 8, I had a birthday cake. March 9, 2009. My birthday is March 9, by the way. March 9, 2009, 8th birthday. Shout out to Blam Blam with the Blam Blam. I had a Rams and Ravens cake. So it was the Ravens were in the Super Bowl. They were playing the Rams on the cake. So yeah, shout out to the Rams. I have a St. Louis. My mom has a St. Louis Rams blanket. You got John Caruso. Packers go wide receiver. Yes, I would love to see the Packers go wide receiver. I'm sure everyone would love to see the Packers go wide receiver. But the last time they took a wide receiver in the first round, I believe it was like Donald Driver. Is it Antonio Freeman? I think I have to look this up. But I mean, you're talking about Green Bay just doesn't go wide receiver ever. Like they got Devontae Adams. Outside of Devontae Adams, Randall Cobb, that's about it. Randall Cobb, I believe, is the highest drafted receiver that Green Bay has gotten in like the last 50 years. Maybe not quite that many, but they don't go wide receiver. They just don't. I understand the allure. I understand that, yeah, they should go get a wide receiver because that's how you win games in the modern NFL. And Green Bay will politely look at you and say, have you met Marquez Valdez-Scantling? He is obviously God. Have you met Equanimous St. Brown? He is the second coming of Jesus. Like, come on, Green Bay. Have you met? Well, Devontae Adams is actually excellent at football. He's probably wide receiver too. I have Tyreek Hill over him, but I mean, let's see. Wide receiver. Oh my goodness, my laptop won't load. Okay, there we go. Anyways, so you're talking. Jordy Nelson was good, 15 years ago. Maybe not even 15 years ago. He was actually an All-Pro, I believe, the 1 year. Maybe 2014 he was an All-Pro with Rodgers during Rodgers' MVP season. All right, here we go. We are to the wide receivers. As far as I can tell, the last time the last time the Packers took a wide receiver in the first round was Javon Walker in 2002. They also took Sterling Sharp, one of the greatest receivers ever. You've never heard of him because he got injured. James Lofton went to the Hall of Fame. So the last three have been pretty good. One guy's in the Hall of Fame. One guy is the Hall of could have beens. Like he's on the Bo Jackson list. Let me tell you that. He's on the Bo Jackson list. He's on the if you had zero injuries in the NFL, Sterling Sharp is a top 5 wide receiver in the history of the sport. And Javon Walker, even he was a Pro Bowler. He had a couple of 1,000-yard seasons. He was really solid in Denver for a year. So the last 3 times you took a guy you took a first-round wide receiver, it worked. Have a Hall of Famer, James Lofton. Hall of could have been in Sterling Sharp, and then even Javon Walker, he's the worst of the bunch. He was a Pro Bowler. And he's a guy that had 89 catches, 1,382 yards, and 12 touchdowns in 04 with the Packers. So, there's that. I get the allure. I think they should go. If I was doing what I would do mock, I could do that. What I would do versus what I think the teams are going to do. This is more what I think the teams are going to do. I do have some opinions there, but this is generally what I think the team will do, especially with Green Bay. I know Jalen Mayfield is not who you want. He might be who you're going to get. I would have drafted Rondale Moore. Absolutely. Actually, let me see. I guess I can't see who else is on the board, but I would have taken Rondale Moore, slam dunk pick at 29. Love Rondale Moore. Elijah Moore. Take any wide receiver. I like Dwayne Eskridge, even though I don't think he's a first-round grade. He would be a slam dunk at 29. Everyone is a slam dunk of the Aaron Rodgers system. So we're at 48 minutes. I think we're going to wrap it up here a little early today. No Jack. Again, I'm sorry. Jack's up in Colorado where he's a giraffe. And it's just me today. New spot. So if you liked the wall paintings back in my dorm, they probably won't be returning. I think this will be one of my permanent spots, at least for the next few weeks, and I'll be back home. But thank you, everyone, for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to the U Stadium YouTube. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at Mr. Splashman19. Follow me on Instagram at Mr. Splashman19. Head to the U Stadium app. If you think I suck, tell me, at Splash. It's not that hard, at SPLASH. You suck. You don't even have to spell out you. You can just write the U, right? So that's easy enough. If you're watching now, make sure you comment on U Stadium at Splash. You suck. I can get Frankie to send you a prize or something, I guess, or I can give you some trivia answers. So thank you, everyone, for watching. Make sure you follow U Stadium on YouTube, follow U Stadium on Twitter, follow U Stadium on Instagram. I guess it's subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe to U Stadium on YouTube. Follow them on Twitter. Follow them on U Stadium because we have some banger on Instagram. We have some banger content coming out. We're doing a user mock draft. Shout out to Justin for running that. So we're almost done with that. I think we're deep in the 5th round, like pick 150, something like that. We're doing that. Nick had this massive project with the draft. We have some special stuff we're doing on the live network. We had Austin Eckler 2 days ago, NFL stud 2 days ago. So make sure you follow along, follow Frankie and Nick over at U Stadium on Twitter or at U Stadium on Instagram. Follow our mega fans. We got Raj tomorrow at our SF49ers on Instagram. We got Chris coming on Monday night at Dallas Cowboys Squad. And of course, we got Alex on Wednesdays at Lambeau Leapers. We got the Play Like a Jet podcast that has moved over. Well, I don't know if it's moved over, but they're doing a U Stadium show. And yeah, thank you everyone for watching. Make sure you leave a comment. If you're still watching, go over to U Stadium and at Splash You Suck. I'll get Frankie to hook you up with something, maybe a shirt. I don't know. So I don't have any outro music. I really should. I know Frankie couldn't play the outro music yesterday, but I think we're at that point in the show that I'm gonna have to say peace out. So keep moving forward.